Woo! Welcome back. It's your boy Carcino here, and let's get to it. Now, we all know why we're here. Demarcus Cousins. Demarcus Cousins. We felt he got a raw deal when the wife didn't let him go, her son go to his wedding, and she looked like the scorned woman, and everybody painted her out to be a scorned woman, including myself. But we will do the fair thing, and we will let her speak her side as to why she decided not to let her son go to this wedding and why she did what she did to Demarcus Cousins, recording his conversation, placing a alleged idle threat, and she decided to turn that over to authorities. Let's go through Christy West, who's his baby mother, the mother of his child, decides that this was the direction she wanted to take. So instead of doing a press conference, she went on social media and gave her side of the story. Yeah, that's the way she chose to do it. And don't forget, you guys could donate to the page. Go to my Cash App. My name is Carcino on the Cash App, Karceno. Now let's hear what Christy had to say. Now, she comes right out and says, to answer everyone's question, my son didn't attend his dad's wedding because Demarcus violated our court agreement. Demarcus was supposed to keep mail for 3 weeks in June and 3 weeks in July. Instead of having our son travel back and forth, we came to a mutual agreement that Demarcus just keep him for 6 straight weeks and send him back home on July the 12th. Which I was fine with. July the 12th came and I texted Demarcus for my son's itinerary so that I could know the time to pick him up. He never texted me back. I called, he didn't pick up the phone, so I waited. The next day came, no one called me or texted me back, and at that point I started to get worried like any other mother would. So I tried to contact other people that's close to Demarcus. Still no response. I even tried contacting my son, but his dad took his iPad and wouldn't let him contact me. Now worried about the whereabouts of my child, at this point I had no choice but to have my lawyer to contact his lawyer to see what was going on. 2 weeks passed. I still had no clue when was I getting my son back or his location. So I just flew to Nevada myself, and they told me it was nothing they could do since our case was being handled in Alabama. July 31st, I received a text from my son's nanny, stating that he was coming home on the 1st of August, which he did. After that incident, my lawyer suggested to me not to let my son go back with his dad until we go back to court. Demarcus knew our son had to take a placement test in order to get him accepted into his new school on August the 1st at 4 p.m. My son's plane landed at 3:30. We had to go directly to school during the test. Mel fell asleep and ended up failing the test from him being tired from traveling across the country the night before the test. Demarcus knew I had a vacation planned for me and my baby to go to Disneyland for a week before school started. He showed no remorse towards my summer plans and still didn't send him home. Last, when it comes to the video, it was recorded because I needed proof, due to the fact that no one believed me when I tell them things he say to me. I'm tired of my life being threatened, as well to address the statement of me being referred to as a bitter baby mama. I fail to understand how can I be labeled a bitter baby mama when I have to explain to my son why his father is never at any of his events. Still, I had no problem making my son available for Demarcus basketball games, fundraisers, and charity giveaways. Now, we've heard her side of the story. Now that we've heard her side of the story, we do what we do here. And we dissect this now. Now, I agree some sort of communication should have been had with Demarcus and his baby mom about his school situation. I'm quite sure he knew his son had to take this placement test and tried to get him back as soon as possible to get into this school. But him being too tired to take a placement test, and he fell asleep during the test and all that stuff, he just wasn't prepared for the test. That's just what it was. So that's just that. Now, to blame Demarcus for that, yeah, if the test was at 4, they would move placement tests back for kids who was traveling at that time. He could have took the test anytime. He didn't know it. He was going to fail. He wasn't properly prepared. That's all that means. Now, your lawyer suggests that he not go back because Demarcus didn't communicate with you and sent the son back, and you decided not to let him go to the wedding. From what I was told, you could have went to the wedding also, and you still said no. That's what I was told. The last thing they came up with was that you could attend to the wedding also, and you was like, you didn't want to go. He's not coming to the wedding until y'all go back to court. That was your decision. Now you start talking about you got to explain why he can't come to your events. You know why he can't come to the events. He can't. If he comes there, it's going to be a melee of people trying to get autographs. It will be a mess. He can't go to certain events. He got other things that he has to do that's part of his requirements. So when he's doing fundraisers, charities, or basketball games, and he wants his son there, that's part of it. So my thing is, why is this a problem now? When did this start being a problem? When he's getting married? Now it's a problem? Mel is older. You know, y'all been broke up for a while now. And all this, we wanted to go to Disneyland? We had plans to go to Disneyland? Your son lives with you. You can take him to Disneyland and make more plans to go to Disneyland when you get back. Now, if he violated his thing and didn't return them, I'm quite sure he'll have to explain that in court. I'll have no problems with that. You guys had a verbal agreement that you said, hey, I cannot deny that. But all of that because he knew I had a plan for my baby to go to Disneyland for a week before school started. He showed no remorse for the summer plans. A week in Disneyland? He was out of the country, lady. What is a week to Disneyland to being out of the country? Well, I'm quite sure Demarcus has another side of the story that we'll have to wait to get to, but this just don't sound all the way correct. There seems like there's a lot of gaps that are missing here. A lot of gaps. And it is not cool to threaten anybody. But I understand and she understands that she knows this is the way he talks. And probably have talked like this, and she probably have said things to him in the same type of manner. This happens. Unfortunately, we've had a family member lose their life because of an ex-boyfriend who they broke up with, came back and took her life. He couldn't take the fact that she broke up with him. And crazily took her life, and now his life isn't gone too, as he's in prison, rotting away. Oh my gosh. So it's not like we don't believe her. I just believe that there's gaps in this story. And I'm quite sure y'all probably gonna feel the same way too. Like there's a lot of pieces missing out of this story. And it's just not making sense. Like, why would this be the situation? And it's a wedding. So it's like you're trying to stick it to him over Disneyland. This is a big moment for him because hopefully this is it. It's a big moment for his father. He would want his son to be at his wedding. That sounds like a dad that's involved. So it wasn't going to stop the wedding, but now you just cause an annoyance. And now you're trying to hurt him financially. You know, it's a bad situation all the way around because that's going to hurt you more than it helps you. So the moral of the story is you're shooting yourself in the foot. So with that being said, that's her side of the story. I believe she's leaving a lot of things out. She's overreacting on my part. A lot of women gonna hate me about it. Like, you're just doing that because you're a male. You're a male chauvinist pig. I'm like, I'm not a male chauvinist pig. I just feel like there's a lot missing out of this story. That's just the way I feel. Now, I could be wrong. Everybody's been wrong before. But, yeah, that's the way I think.
We all know she just merely tolerated you.
That is not true. That's not.
Yeah, that's true. She just tolerated. So now, it's just a situation you're stuck in. And the person that's hurt is the child. See, this is what parents don't understand. They don't really stop and look at the kid and go, I got to figure out why this is happening to my son. Why my son this and why my son that. Because when you don't do that, this is the scenario you're stuck with. This is absolutely the scenario you're stuck with. You guys are not paying attention to what this is doing to the kid. Because then the kids start to believe it's his fault. That all of this is happening because of him. And you can tell your son, oh, it's not your fault. Don't put this on you. You can't tell him how to feel. He feels bad because this just not gonna happen in house. This happens in the news. This happens on ESPN. This happens on when he's got to go to school. He's got friends, and they're gonna be asking him, "Man, what's your dad and your mom?" You know, these are the situations he's faced with in his reality that parents seem to ignore. That he has a reality too. He has a life too. And what's going on in his little world, that affects his mind. So when he grows up, he might have resentment towards both parents and rebel out and create his own entertainment outside of his parents that has nothing to do with bond. So that's just it. If you like what you heard, you could click the link in the description box. Hit me up in the Streamlab. The Streamlab is below. It says Super Chat down there. That's our Super Chat. Or you could just hit me up on the Cash App. Carsino's the name. Deuces.